Hey guys, this is Derek Alexander here, and I'm super excited to bring you this training called Consistent Profits, a Beginner's Guide to Compounding. Over the past 9 years, I've been involved in this industry of trading and investing in the stock market and cryptocurrency. I've seen some incredible results. And the question that I get asked a lot is, okay, so what is the secret to your success? And of course, there is mindset. I have a video that I dropped as well on my YouTube and also on this portal, on the Wealth Makers portal, about mindset. Mindset is absolutely important, of course, and it is 80% of success. But the 20% of success, which is more on the practical side, this is what this call is focusing on. And understanding the techniques that's required for you to win. You have to treat this like a business. Write this down. If you treat trading like a hobby, it will pay you like a hobby. If you treat it like a business, it will pay you like a business. So over the next few slides, I'm going to break down some philosophies, and I'm even going to show you in real time an example on how compounding works if you decide to become a professional in this space. So first and foremost, what is daily compounding? Compounding means growing your account step by step, not trying to get rich in one trade, okay? You don't need huge wins because consistency beats aggression. Even 3 to 5% per day done properly can transform a small account. And most traders don't compound effectively because they over leverage, not because they lack skill. So this is what compounding is. It's growing your account day by day. Now, of course, in our Wealth Makers community, we thrive and we pride ourselves in teaching you must gradually grow your account. Now, we have people in our community that make thousands in a day, right? Of course, it happens in our space, it happens in our organization, it happens all across the world. People make extraordinary levels of money. People are buying supercars and traveling all across the world and wearing the finest clothes. And a lot of them would say the trading industry has given me this fortune. It is possible. But at the beginning of your journey, we're not talking about someone that's a professional. If you are a beginner, and even if you've been in this game for a couple of months, you're still learning. And you must understand, to grow your trading account and to have a nice juicy balance at the end of the year, you must be disciplined. You must be disciplined to go through the daily tasks of growing your account. 3 to 5% per day. Now, there are going to be times where you might double your account. You might make an incredible amount of money. And I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but I'm saying in the grand scheme of things, we must really focus on developing this discipline to grow our account gradually. Day by day, you're compounding, you're growing. Success is loads of small disciplines compounded into one massive result. A mighty ocean is one big ocean, but it's like billions of cups of water. Now, of course, you can't empty the ocean with cups of water because you'll be there all day, right? You'll be there all your life. But an ocean is just drops of water multiplied over time, right? Or gallons and gallons and gallons and gallons of water. And that's the same thing as your life, the same thing as your results. This massive ocean of results that you want to achieve, what if I told you that it starts today? What if I told you that today, understanding compounding will put you in a position where now you can start to have success and you can start to live the life of your dreams? Now, why is 3 to 5% profit? Why is this more than enough? This 3 to 5% profit per day, why is it more than enough? Well, 3 to 5% a day is realistic, sustainable, and emotionally manageable. Trying to, make 20 to 50% per day, it forces over trading and over leveraging. Professional traders focus on capital preservation first and then profit second. Here's an example. If you start with a £1,000 account and you grow it by 3%, that means you've now made £30. So tomorrow, after you've made that profit today, you're now trading of £1,030 rather than just 1,000. The account grows without increasing risk. The whole idea is to compound. So that answers the question. Why is 3 to 5% profit per day more than enough? It's more than enough because if you compound it over time, you will see your account grow gradually. And as your account balance grows, of course, that 3% will get bigger as your account balance grows. Now, risk management is very important to understand that you should be risking, especially if you're a beginner. Of course, if you're more advanced, you have your own strategy, and of course, you enter at your own risk. But of course, if you're more advanced, if you've got a strategy already, you have a very different strategy. You might risk more. But if you're beginning right now in your journey, and if you're right here at the very start of your journey, risk 1 to 2% per trade, right? Use stop losses on each trade. So whenever a trade comes through from our educators or from the applications or from our systems, and you see a trade that says buy gold, it would always have a stop loss, a take profit, and an entry price. So the whole idea is to make sure you put that, never enter a trade without a stop loss. That is, it doesn't work. Never do that. Now, your job is not to win every trade. Your job is to stay in the game. Now, alongside using stop losses, you must also use the right lot size. Now, we have a whole, in our trading group chat, we have a whole formula. There's a special message that we send out, and it tells you, based upon your account balance, what your lot size should be. If you have, £500 in your account, roughly you should be using around a 0.05 lot size. If you've got a £1,000 account, 0.10. £5,000 account, 0.50. Now, of course, you can play around with these lot sizes as you wish, but here is a rough estimate, a rough understanding of what to do, right? The rough understanding is to use or should I say the rough idea, there's always going to be a framework, and that framework works. So use a decent lot size. Here's some rules for compounding traders. No revenge trading, no doubling lot sizes after losses, no emotional decisions, and trade the plan, not your feelings. So revenge trading is when you're trying to get your money back after a loss. Don't try and get right back into the market. You're emotional. You're not following the strategy. So just focus on doing it the right way, focusing on being disciplined, focus on not being emotional. Don't trade after an argument. Don't trade if you're feeling uncomfortable. Trade when you're comfortable, when you're ready, and use the right risk management, use the right lot sizes, and make sure you put a stop loss on every single trade, and you are on the road to success. Now, here is the compounding mindset, right? Compounding will build your patience, discipline, and emotional control. Compounding mindset represents small daily wins that will build your confidence, consistency, and enforce professional habits. You don't need a lucky trade. You need a repeatable process that is duplicatable every single day. And finally, you don't have to over leverage. You don't have to rush, and you definitely don't have to gamble. So I'm going to give you guys a live example on the power of compounding. And I want to go ahead and share my screen on my internet to show you the actual website on the daily profits that you should be making. Now, if you're starting with 250, right? This is an amount, it's a random amount, but let's just say you're starting with 250 and you say, Derek, I want to grow my account by 3% a day for the next 6 months. I'm going to trade Monday to Friday, not weekends, of course, because the market is not open on the weekends. And I am going to keep everything in the account. That's why here it says daily reinvest rate, 100%. And we're saying, okay, we want to grow our account for 6 months, starting with 250. Here's what you would have after 6 months. 11,000, right? £332 and 49 pence. That is literally after 6 months, 129 business days, 181 total days, you're £11,000 up. As you can see, month by month, this is how much you would have earned month by month. And this is a breakdown on a 6-month breakdown on what you could have with 250. This is the power of compounding. Now, you're going to be using a certain lot size, right? Depending on what your target is for that day, you'll use a certain lot size, and your goal is to catch at least 20 to 50 pips per day. 20 to 50 pips is a good day. Now, a pip, we have education about that. I'm not going to go into what a pip is. If you don't know what a pip is, go into the education and you will learn about that. But basically, a pip represents money. So based upon how many pips you catch is how much money you'll make. But imagine, right, if you grew your account from 250 to 11,000, right? I'm going to go ahead and share with you, right, a website here, the same website, and I'm going to show you the actual daily income, what you would make, like how the actual breakdown looks like, what it actually looks like. Guys, this is absolutely phenomenal. When I saw this for the first time, when I saw this website, I was blown away. Okay, so as you can see here, guys, this is the daily income. You can see the first day, right? It says 750. The second day, it says 772. This is literally the daily profits that you'll be making. 796, 820, 844, 869, 896, 922. Now, of course, you're not going to make that exact amount every single day. But look at this. As you keep growing, February, March, £23. Guys, this is the amount that your target for every single day. This is your target for the day. This is the date, right? And this right here is your total earnings so far. And this is your final balance after you've compounded your account. Now, can you make £20 a day? It's absolutely possible. Of course you can make £20 a day. Of course, right? You're growing. April, May, June. And then by the end of this compound period, you would have made £300 a day. And you're now up 11,000. That's an example, guys, of the compound, right? That's an example of how simple it is to compound your account. Now, of course, it sounds simple, right? You have to have the discipline to go through this process, right? But as we close, here are 3 important websites to save for future reference. And save this, screenshot these websites, and you'll be able to access more information about how to compound effectively. But I hope today's training has really helped you. I really hope that you decide to become a professional and to grow your account day by day and really become a pro in this game. And I look forward to seeing your success story as we continue to impact lives all across the world. It's Derek Alexander here. God bless every single one of you, and I'll see you very, very soon. Bye-bye.